So hi there, folks. I'm a singer and a music director, as some of you might know. And as most musicians in India, my career started in the great gharana of engineering. So this is my fourth year submission time. And what happened was a friend of mine wanted to get in a big company which had come to our college for placements. And he asked me to come for the exam just so he could copy my answers. And he even copied the order of the answers wrong. So I ended up getting inside the round, and I got called for the second HR round. Now here, I just went out of the college for a minute, and I thought to myself, if I wanted to do this for my life, I didn't. So I just ran out of college and I went back home. Now, after a couple of hours, the HR guy called me on my landline and told me that I had made the biggest mistake of my life, not taking this seriously. I had just gotten out of my awesome sleep, so I took the call and I answered by, sorry. That's all that I could figure out. Because you see, up until now, my life had been pretty normal. As a kid, I was a bright kid who wanted to be a theoretical physicist or an astronaut. I went into college with my distance from education growing and doing just average. And then I went ahead into engineering, doing a bit better, but not too much. What lied ahead was definitely not any of this. What I thought would happen next was me getting a post-graduation, then me having a good marriage, me getting a better house. So just basically be settled. Now, this was the only time, this running away time, when I had been proactive with my life. I had taken a situation and I had turned it on its head by myself. Now, what life does, life, God, fate, nature, whatever you call it, what all of that does is it gives you a premise. It gives you a deck of cards, a hand of cards, just like the ones over here. Now, all of those hands, whatever you have right now, is very important because that is your own personal hand. And that is your own personal adventure and tale. So my premise basically was this. I had 2 years which I asked from my parents to do what I wanted in my field, which was singing at the time. And if that wouldn't happen, I would do an MBA. Now, I'm aware I'm in a similar environment of IT and MBA people around, so it's pretty ironical I'm saying this out right now. But that was what I was going to do, and I would do it without any qualms or any problems. But I needed to try this process out first. So what I did was, I went ahead, and after my engineering self was not aware of any realities of life. What he felt was that he was the best singer out there, which the world was desperately trying to find, somehow. Like, I would go to a reality show and people would be like, oh, what did he do? And life would just turn around for me. But real life was not like that. I went out and this reality struck me hard. I had all those movie-like moments of just waiting on the doors, being hungry, thirsty, to just find my demos being rejected again and again and again. My music directors telling me that I just had more to learn and I wasn't special enough. Now what happened was, in some time, it wasn't that they were trying to sabotage my dream or something, it was just that they had concerns based on the experiences they had in their life. So in some time, I realized that what all of them were saying was true. I wasn't a good singer, and I wasn't nearly good enough to be doing playback singing. But I also had my premise of my further non-musical studies. So that's when I took a step back, and I thought about the point in my life ahead where I would achieve all these goals. So I did not just think of it. What I did was, I just visualized it in my body and mind, the place where I am right now, having all that I wanted. Now what that did, I call this a sort of binding to your future self. What this did was for me, it created a bond between me and my future self as one. I'm also, by childhood, as I told you before, I'm a fan of physics, so, and especially of space-time. So I tend to observe time as more of like a dimension than sort of by the constructs of our present, past, and future. So here was my timeline, and here is the time at the right side, and this is the present, the future, and the past. Now there is also on the top, there is 3D space, but I'm not the right person to tell you about that, so I won't go too much into that. So in this timeline, let's say I am at my present self, and let's say this is my goal state. Now, once we have bonded with that self, that version of ours in that timeline, there are innumerable paths just going, just reaching across from this present state to this goal state. Now, I call all of these paths very imaginatively as strings. Now, these strings can be anything. They can be all the actions that you take based on your present moment and the paths that you're going to follow to your goal state. Now, what you saw before and what you will see again were my strings. So my strings were either be a music director, or I could go into singing, or I had the SFX thing that I could go into, or I could learn background music. There was a lot I could do. I discovered this because I discovered my goal state. And my goal state was to have my music for my life. So once I had this, I could realize, perfect. I could realize what all I wanted to do. And what I did was, I just went on all of these paths at once. I knew that I got bored of learning any one thing after a particular point of time, so I just learned multiple things at once. I started singing, and when I got tired of singing, I would compose a tune. And when I got locked out of my mind from that tune, I would just strum a guitar. And then when my hands started swelling, I would just switch on to an harmonica. And then when the air blew out and I started feeling dizzy, I went for a violin. I went to learn music software. I learned video editing, photo editing, everything that was required because I knew my goal point. And I knew that I was going towards it. And now all of these things, they were helping me understand music much better. At the time, I was also in a band, a folk, fusion, and world music band. And we had crowds of all sizes and theaters of all sizes. We played in crowds like these in thousands, and we also played in empty podiums like these. Now, what that did for me was that it made me invulnerable on stage to the audience's reaction. I knew that as long as me and my fellows on the stage were enjoying, the speakers and the lights could be off for all I care, but I would still be enjoying. So this happened, and then I found my bandmate and I, Durgesh, we started doing music production, and we did some tracks. And we also got a movie after that. So we worked on the movie for around 6 to 7 months, and ultimately, the movie never got out. Now, at this point of time, I wasn't scared or depressed at all, because I had all these strings working for me. And I knew that once I was on my strings, it would just be a matter of time before an opportunity came to me. Because that is what life does. It gives you opportunities again and again, throwing it from here and there. You have to be ready when you get your opportunity. So that is what I kept doing again and again and again. And after some time, we landed our second movie. So this time, things went very differently. I got to sing in the movie, and I also got to feature for a small moment in the movie. This is a very bad picture, but you get the point. So another beautiful thing that happened was I had just 4 years ago seen my role model and the super legend Sonu Nigam ji perform and had tears in my eyes. And after 4 years, at this moment, we had the honor of having him sing for our first film. We did one more song, and that song won us the best upcoming music directors of the year for Mirchi Music Awards. Thank you. So currently, we have Tamil and Telugu hits going viral under the name Nee Venakale Nadichi and Mandira Kannilai. And we also have 3 movies lined up for this year. Now, all these things are still unreal to me. But the funny part about all of this is, I do not remember how I felt during any of these milestones. What I do remember, however, is all those nights when I was sleepless because I wanted that tune in my head to get outside, and I just worked for that whole night. I remember all those empty houses that we played to, and we were so happy because we were having fun on the stage. I remember all those crazy rushes in trains where I entered with a guitar in one hand, a ukulele in another, and a half a dozen instruments on my bag, with a lot of curses also, by the way. But I just grew stronger after that. And what that did was, all of this just made me stronger and stronger. Because my dream string theory, whatever you call it, what it does is, it converts this whole journey we tend to call the struggle into something very precious to us. It's almost like a tale after tale of something happening to you in a book where you know the end page. You know you're going to reach there. It's just the when and the hows that you're going to get out of this book. And that is where you have the most fun. And every tale that you keep on adding to your life is just making your string go stronger and stronger all the time. Now, there is one more thing that I want you all to do right now. I want you all to close your eyes, please, for a moment. Yeah, and please not sleep also on the way. Just close your eyes, and for one moment, just imagine whatever you wanted, you have become that. You have everything that you wanted right now in your space. That might be a good house, that might be a scenic view where you wanted to live, and you have all the things, all the money and everything that you wanted. Now make that form, whatever you're thinking of, a part of your reality. You have achieved that at point T1. Once you have done that binding, everything else is just a step that you take towards that goal. Now, you can open your eyes again. And I want to tell you about one more thing, which is this. Now consider these 3 points on the timeline. T-1 is the point of your birth. T0 is your present time. And T1 is the point of your death. Now, whatever has happened from the point T-1 to T0, it is only as important as the lessons that you're going to take out of it. No more and no less. You cannot keep blaming yourselves for the decisions that you took at one point of time and go back to it again and again in a loop. Because frankly saying, this line is never going to go backwards. You're not going to get that chance ever again. What you have is T0. And what you have more is your T star and your string. So all that is important is to stay on your string. But there is one more thing which is very dreadful. It is all the external situations that are happening, or the worst of them all, T1, the time of death. It can either be before your T star, or it can be after it. But I myself will find solace in the fact that whenever T1 does, most probably, 100% probability say, whenever it strikes, I will be on my vibrant string and on no other string. Now, I also want to tell you what I'm doing currently based on T0. Now, T0 is taking me to my goal state just a step at a time. I'm doing just one action a day, which is getting me to that goal state of mine. Now, for an example, I won't give you any more physics examples because I can see some of you being lost in the space-time. So I'll give you a musical example instead. What if I told you to do something like the beautiful band that came in just before me? They did something like... You tell me to go out the door right now. But what if I told you something like, try it just right now. Yes, the farting, burping song, whatever you would call it. Okay, say I told you to do that idiotic sound for the whole day. I told you in the morning, go, after breakfast, go, just before sleeping, go. Once you come out of the toilet, don't do it in the toilet. People might think something else. Once you come out, you do again. You just go for it. And in some time you have, in a whole day, this task seems manageable. Does it not? Does it not? I think so, yeah. So then you just go and put that in. Okay. So you have this basic thing already done. So now the next day, I tell you to do a sound like, do it, please let me hear you all. Yeah, it's almost there. I guess you'll need 3 or 4 more days. But say I keep telling you to do just this one sound. The whole time, just roll your tongue and go like. I can see some of you doing it right now. And it's not a big task even. Now you just go and put that in. And you have one more sound. Now most of you might be doing especially if you're rude. I can understand you will be doing that even more. So you just do and you get to this. And you have a whole groove now at your disposal. Now say you just saw the guitar over there and you want to have the guitar. You want your hand at the guitar. So you take the guitar. And so you want to do something like this. Seems pretty tough, right? But what if I tell you to do just this? That is exactly how flamenco guitarists practice on the first level. They have their knees, not their guitars. You're just supposed to do this on your knee the whole time. Just keep on doing this again and again and again. How much time do you think can you master this in? A week maybe? In 2 weeks? Just keep on increasing the pace again and again. Say suppose you take 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, but you have that action in you in just 3 months, and then you reach this. So you have a whole world at your disposal. And by doing just one simple task a day, very, very simple task a day, you can just have a magical world all around you. Then you just go and learn some singing for which you might require, say, 2 more years, 3 more years. And then you get to do something like this. Now, I didn't have a female singer at the time because I had budget issues. So I learned to do that as well. So we had to put that in. Here we go. And you just have the whole world at your disposal. So I hope this dream string theory helps you all to achieve your dreams as well. And I hope till your T1, your time of death strikes, you are always on your string and never get off of it. Live well and die well. Thank you, folks.